All right, good morning, YouTube. So it is the day before Christmas. We're trying to finish the video that we were supposed to put up on Wednesday, the Keto Conversation. We put out a message yesterday basically explaining what happened. We had a major plumbing issue. We have one bathroom. And Tuesday night, I was almost done with this video. Went in the house to say goodnight to Sarah, only to find out that we had a major sewage issue as far as water backing up into our bathtub from the toilet and all kinds of stuff. So that stopped everything as far as the video for YouTube. And so I spent all day yesterday, which would have been, I guess, Wednesday. I was actually off that day, which was very fortuitous that I had taken off. I didn't take off planning to deal with this plumbing issue, but that's what ended up happening. So anyway, I've been trying to look at positive things for everything, even everything all the crap that's happened this year. I've been trying to stay and look at positive things. So yesterday, we did not plan to spend $580 for a plumbing issue. I did not want to call a plumber. I just realized that I got one bathroom. I got four girls, three girls. Yeah, four girls here and myself, one bathroom. And it's not even feasible to be going back and forth to, stores and all that stuff. So anyway, we, even out of yesterday, we discovered a bigger issue as far as roots in our sewer line. We got to deal with that. That's for a later time. But I learned how to make an emergency toilet. And so that might sound weird, but I did learn how to do it because, again, it was out of necessity. So there was something good came out of it because I never would have taken the time to do the whole emergency porta potty thing unless this would have happened. It's something for emergency preparedness that all of y'all need to know how to do and have if you don't have it. So I was actually thankful, not that this situation happened, but thankful that even out of this situation, we could figure out a way to mitigate the impacts of it, and then make it work. So anyway, here's the video for this week. We hope that you guys are having a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will talk at you later. Peace. What's up, CJ's Keto Kitchen family? This is CJ.
And Sarah.
It's a Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Keto
Conversations.
So let's get started. So when we put this video up, it'll be, 2 days before Christmas?
Yes, that'll be the 23rd.
It'll be 23rd. So we want to, I guess, we'll start by saying Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone in our keto family. And we hope that you have a safe and Merry Christmas or whatever holiday that you celebrate this time of year. So we are doing a 2020 best of...
End of the year favorites.
Yeah. It was a suggestion by... one of our subscribers. I hope he's a subscriber.
At the very least, a viewer.
A viewer.
Yes.
But I hope he's a subscriber because we actually have a lot of people that view us that aren't subscribers. But we're going to say that Brandon Davenport is a subscriber. And Brandon gave us this idea. And we're going to run with it. We've never done it before. And so what we came up with is we both came up with a list of our 5 top recipes for the year. And then we're also going to cover some top events that happened this year.
Yes. And we have, I think there were 56 recipes that I made this year because I make at least a recipe a week. So it's a lot of recipes. It was hard to narrow it down because I thought a lot of what we made was really delicious, but I'm a little bit biased. And we have several that are similar, but we do have a couple that are different from each other.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about
So I'll start off with one of my favorites was the chicken jalapeno popper casserole. And that was a bit of a mistake as far as on our end. Because Sarah had sent me to the store to get jalapeno peppers, and I got pickled jalapeno peppers. I didn't know that there was any. That's what I saw. That's what I got, and they actually turned out well. So I don't even know what I was supposed to get.
It was a happy accident. Yeah. I think I sent you to get like raw jalapenos, and I was going to cut.
I don't
them
know. You didn't. Your lists are always very vague. That is a constant problem we have here. Your lists are vague.
I'm trying to be more specific.
They don't say how many quantities. They just say jalapeno peppers.
Maybe I should start screenshotting what I want. That might work.
Anyway, but go ahead.
Anyway, and it was a casserole that we ended up making several times after that because he enjoyed it so much. And you would think that it would be super spicy, but actually, because it's in kind of a creamy base, you get that nice heat, but then it's cooled right off because it's got the creamy base. So it's definitely one to try, especially if you like jalapeno poppers, the kind that you would get in the deli.
Because it does kind of remind you of the jalapeno poppers that you would get from fast food or restaurants.
Yeah, the deli.
Delis. Yeah. So that was one that I had. What did you have?
So one I had that was dissimilar from yours is the cornbread. And I was looking for something that would accompany our slow cooker keto chili. Which we've had up on our channel for a couple of years. It's a great one to check out. CJ actually won an award for the best chili in his office a couple of years ago. And even though it was a ketogenic chili, he still won first prize. So I wanted something to go with that. And so I came up with this cornbread recipe. And of course I did it in my cast iron skillet because I've had kind of a love affair with my cast iron skillet this year. And it turned out really good, especially since there's no corn in it at all.
Right. So there's a secret ingredient, and it's not a secret. It's not a secret.
And it's not my corny jokes.
And it's and this recipe it's all over the place, and a lot of people use the secret ingredient. So it's not a secret. It's just something you can buy, and it's good, especially for folks like us on keto because again, you're not gonna have corn.
Right.
And there's no cornmeal, like Sarah said.
But what did you think of the texture? Did you think it was...
Yeah, I thought the texture, it was surprising that you could get that texture, the texture of cornbread out of almond flour, right?
Yeah.
That's all it was. It wasn't like a mixture of anything. It was just almond flour. So yeah, I was surprised that you could get that texture. And so when you were eating it, I couldn't tell the difference.
Our kids ate it too, and they didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like there was one. It was so close that it was. Again, we're doing keto. We work with different kinds of ingredients than when you're not doing keto, and so based on that, it was a good cornbread recipe, and the texture definitely was cornbready.
Yes.
If that's a word.
Yes, we can make it a word.
One of the things that we both have on our list are the keto Jello whips, and that was a pretty simple recipe, but we used that all summer.
Oh my goodness!
We made all kinds of flavors. We kept, how many would you make at a time?
I think it made 5 at a time. We couldn't keep them in the fridge.
The
kids were eating them. It got to the point where I started making the, non-sugar-free version for them because they were, pile driving through our keto ones, and it's like, hold on, we want something. It was an awesome thing to have, especially during the warmer months.
So the keto Jello whips turned out great. And again, we actually do eat this food, besides just on, every week when we do the videos. We eat this food, some of it all the time. It just depends on it. And this keto Jello whips was one that we used a lot this summer.
A lot, for sure. Yeah.
Now something I have on the list was the keto, I think it was the skillet cookie or the Pizookie. I used to love those from, I can't remember the name of the restaurant.
Brewhouse?
BJ's Brewhouse. I think that's a West Coast thing. But
although they do have them in Florida.
Oh, do they? Okay, so that's where I first got a Pizookie. But of course this was this was a keto version of it, and I really liked that. I thought it was good, especially with some low carb ice cream.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a deep dish cookie, I guess, if you don't know. Yeah. What a Pizookie is.
Yeah. It was looked like it was fairly simple to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when I say that, I think people, because I swear, I think people think that I'm just sitting in the other room, and somehow you're magically filming yourself.
Go gadget arm.
Yeah, I think, no, I'm serious. I think that's that's the impression people have. And so when I say it looks simple, the reason I say that is because I'm standing right here watching the whole thing.
Holding the camera.
And sometimes I'm watching the whole thing 3 or 4 times. So if I say it looks simple, I'm not saying that as a negative. I'm saying it because, again, I was standing here the whole time. Yep. And if there's a problem, I'm standing here 2 or 3 times holding the camera.
That's right.
Until we get the recipe right. So the Pizookie was one. What do you have?
I have the orange cranberry muffins. I really enjoyed those. It was the first time that I had personally made a ketogenic muffin. I never was like super into muffins even when I was a carb eater, but they were really nice to have, and I was really pleased with the amount of orange flavor that I was able to get in it without actually having like orange juice or anything like that. So
yeah, those are good. It's funny, I didn't star those on my sheet, but I have them on my sheet as well.
You doubled. Well, maybe you wrote down what I was going to say too.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I did like the orange cranberry muffins. I did like the flavor. But I thought they also photographed very well. That might sound weird, but I also take all the photos. And so I thought that those photographed really well. And every time I see the picture, the photos of them, like, those actually look pretty cool. So I did like the orange cranberry muffins as well. So one of my favorites this year was the Philly cheesesteak casserole. So I'm from the East Coast. I am not from Philadelphia. You know what? I don't know if this Philly cheesesteak casserole is authentic Philly cheesesteak. I have no idea.
It doesn't matter. It
tasted good. I grew up in Washington, D.C. I used to go to a place to get Philly cheesesteaks. I have no idea if it was authentic or not, but it was good, and that's what this casserole reminded me of.
It was a fond memory for you, so.
Yeah.
The taste ended up being good. And once again, you know, a lot of people have made it making shortcuts, you know, using like steakums, a frozen, steak product if you don't feel like going and getting actual steak and cutting it up. It's nice that you have a choice to be able to do something like that, making it easy so you can get it right on the table.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely a
favorite. One of the things we both have is the stuffed mushrooms. And that video has never really done as well as we thought it should do. Because it's, and we think that, now first of all, we think every video should do, should just blow up. But
we're like proud parents.
But the stuffed mushrooms, we eat those. Now, we haven't had them in a while, but at one point we were eating those almost every other week.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And we just can't figure out why people aren't,
jumping up and down excited.
Jumping on that stuffed mushroom bandwagon.
They're so good.
They are good, and
they got bacon. They have cheese. Yeah. What's not to like?
Yeah. I don't. And the mushrooms, and I think you can experiment with the mushrooms and get different textures.
I've used different kinds.
All different. Yeah. I'm not sure which ones have been the best. But I know that's a dish that we really enjoyed this year, and we both enjoyed it, and we haven't had it in a while.
I think maybe we should have that for Christmas. That should be part of our Christmas meal.
Christmas meal? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Make it so.
Okay.
All right.
I'll do it.
So, what else do you have?
I think that was all the recipes that we had, wasn't it? Yep. We talked about them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we did.
So that was all the recipes that we had. Those were our favorites, and as Sarah said, it was difficult to really pare it down. I guess we'd like to hear maybe your favorites from 2020.
Because there's 50 others we didn't talk about.
Yeah, so if you have some favorites from 2020 or even another year, that's fine as well. We like to hear that. And then as far as events, we're going to try not to talk about the C word. It seems to be all over everything that we've done in 2020. But, we did have some pretty good events, some pretty big events, and some events that were that we really enjoyed this year. So we're going to try to stay on the positive. And one of the things that we did before COVID, we actually went to Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was February. It was mid-February.
Yeah, and mid-February we went to Las Vegas, and I remember getting in the cab.
Yep, it's in Vegas. Yeah, go Hawks!
The cab, and the guy said something. The cab driver said something about, or the Uber driver, it was an Uber driver, said something about. He was referencing COVID, and we didn't even know what he was talking about. I mean, we didn't even know. So this was like early.
Okay, so we had to stand through like a health checkpoint at the airport when we flew out. You know, because we live in Washington.
Didn't.
Yeah, we had to stand in. They had dogs sniffing for temperatures when we went.
No.
Yes.
That's not. They weren't sniffing for.
Well, they were sniffing for something.
They were sniffing for drugs.
Anyway,
it wasn't. COVID wasn't even a thing in February.
No, it wasn't yet. Although there were nigglings of it, and of course it was happening in China.
There was stuff going on in China. But I remember again the whole Uber thing when we got in there. The guy was talking about something, and I'm like, you know.
And you kind of thought he was like conspiracy theorist.
Well, I didn't know what to think. But then it dawned on me later because, like you said, there was stuff going on in other parts of the world.
Right.
And
it just hadn't come here yet.
It just hadn't. We hadn't been right, and so. But Las Vegas was a good trip.
It was.
And we made a video about how we ate in Vegas, and so we'll, I guess, we'll put a link to that if you want to see that because it was a vacation, but we stayed keto the entire time.
Yeah.
And
we did.
We show you how we did it, where we ate, and that's just kind of how we roll.
Had a lot of delicious beef that trip.
Even when we go on vacation. So
yes, it was great.
Let's see, what else? What's another big thing that happened?
We got new countertops.
Okay.
Yes. So
why don't you talk about them?
If you have watched us for a number of years, CJ and I have lived together for 2 years now. And when I moved in, the countertops were, about 20 years old. And so we ended up getting new countertops. So that was a big deal for me because, I'm cooking all the time.
Yeah, and it was a big deal for me too.
Yeah.
I mean, what we had here they were this
laminate.
Blue laminate, and
they'd been through renters and other things like that.
Yeah, because I've owned this house for a long time, but it was set up for rent to be a rental.
Right.
And so then I ended up moving in, and so like Sarah said, the countertops were a big deal, and it took us a while to find countertops that we wanted as well.
Because you have to go through the whole selecting process and what kind of material do you want, and what pattern do you want, and all of that.
It was a lot of work just to find it, and then it was interesting to find, and we actually ended up going through Home Depot, but I remember trying to go to Lowe's, and it was like you never could get anybody there. One time the person stood us up, and
and then sometimes you just stand there and it was like a ghost town.
Yeah,
there was nobody there.
It was like, we want to give you money.
Come take our money.
And nobody wanted to take our money. So luckily, one day, I think I was in Home Depot, and I don't think I was even looking for cabinets. I wasn't even looking for countertops. There just happened to be a guy sitting there in the countertop area. I started talking. They had a sale.
Fortuitous, for sure.
They finally took our money. So another big thing that happened was we did a garage remodel, and I wish we would have more pictures of how it looked before. I don't know what we were thinking, that we didn't show more of the demolition or have more pictures of how it looked before, but
it's 2/3 of the garage is what we ended up.
So we have a detached garage, and it was, when I first bought this house, it was just full of junk. It was, we had like 5 U-Hauls, 23-foot U-Hauls full of junk that we hauled out of the garage. But then, even for us, I think I've only had a car parked in there one time since I've lived here. And so we took that garage, we split it in half.
Well, it's 2/3. So the office part is just a little bit larger than the back.
Okay, so we made an office, and that was something that we had talked about, because it's an office / I guess, YouTube editing studio.
In a man space.
In a man space.
Yeah.
And
CJ,
and
there's four gals living here.
yeah, but
so.
it wasn't just a man space, but we've always talked about we needed some space for, even for you to be able to get away sometimes.
Right. So this was something that we had talked about long before a home office
Yeah.
became a necessity. So.
Yes, and so it just so happened that COVID happened, all these things kind of happened. Schools were, there was no school last fall,
from March,
March
until currently.
Yeah, they
we're
shut
still
the
doing
schools
remote,
down.
remote learning here.
And so I was in a room that my daughter Izzy was in Hawaii, so luckily we had that room. But anyway, we quickly found out that that probably wasn't going to work long term.
Right.
So
if you were going to be teleworking indefinitely.
yeah, so we made an office, remodeled, and yeah, I'm happy with the space. We finally got the carpet down. It's just carpet squares.
Mm-hmm.
We finally got all the paint done, and now it's, getting.
We need to still tile the entryway.
Yeah, we need to, right. And we got some issues as far as leaks, not leaks in the ceiling, but like around the door. There's an issue with the door. But all in all, though, that's where I work every day. That's where I edit the videos. Now one of the issues is that my daughter Izzy's back. I let her come in there a couple of weeks ago, and all of a sudden I can't get her out of there.
It's like feeding a stray cat.
I can't.
It's gonna become your pet.
I can't get her to leave. So she kind of likes sitting out there with me working. She actually doesn't bother me that much, but it's something about, I guess, maybe being around your parents. So
yeah, especially because she's not here full time.
Yeah, she's not here all the time, so I thought about kicking her out completely, and then I thought about it. I said, well, because she's not here all the time, maybe I'll just roll with it and do as much as I can.
Your time is limited because she's 12, and her wanting and thinking you're the greatest person. So just keep it up for as long as it lasts.
Yeah. So, and then probably the biggest thing that happened in 2020 was we got married. So we got married. We had to elope. Is that really what we did?
It is indeed.
Okay, so we had to elope, but we had to elope because of COVID. So we had made plans. We were going to get married in, what month was it?
We were still going to get married in March, but it was going to be the end of March. It was going to be the 29th of March, and it ended up being
so we had already planned on getting married in March, and then, COVID happened, and here it kind of blew up.
We're in Washington State.
Yeah, we live in Washington State, so we were one of the
spots.
hot spots initially.
The first area that basically closed
and
down.
it didn't help that they showed all these bodies being pulled out of this place, which was, it was true, but I still don't think that was responsible reporting personally. But anyway, that's just me. So we were supposed to get married, and then we ended up pulling the wedding together in a day?
One day. Well, when we had returned home in February from Las Vegas, we went ahead and got our marriage license because we needed to have it within a certain amount of time of our actual ceremony. Well, it was going to expire. Our marriage license would expire if we didn't use it within that amount of time, because if we had postponed our wedding indefinitely, then we would have lost the money that we had paid for our marriage license.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's interesting. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That we would have lost that money, but
yeah.
we also had the issue of, so COVID was blowing up here in Washington State. Izzy, my ex, her mom they had moved to Hawaii, and we knew that was happening.
Right.
And Izzy was supposed to go, but she wasn't supposed to go until after the wedding.
But our state shut down.
Yeah,
was
so
shutting down that week.
We could kind of see the writing on the wall that if we didn't get her out of here pretty fast,
on an airplane.
If we didn't get her on our airplane, that she wasn't going to be able to get out of here, and that wasn't going to work. That she was going to be locked down for potentially 5 or 6 months away from her mom. So, we pulled it together in about a day,
less than 24
hours. The wedding chapel, the lady was very accommodating.
Yep.
And
my son and his fiance stood up for us, and the two of them and our 3 children were the only people that were there.
Yeah.
So it was very intimate.
Yeah, so we actually made a video about that. As we shoot this, I'm kind of wondering if I could put that maybe at the end of this video as well for people who didn't see it, or I can just put a link to where you can go look at it. But we did get married this year, and that was a big deal. And so
A lot of people thought we were already married because
Yeah.
we just act like an old married couple, but no, we're still newlyweds.
yeah, like an old married couple. So, well, I think old married couples don't talk.
And we compete to who gets to talk first. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't compete against you. No, anyway, it's fine. I don't need to talk that much.
No, you don't.
So
I'm the talker.
anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this keto conversation. It's again a little bit different for us. You know, again, with all the stuff that happened this year with COVID and the pandemic and all that, you know, we still had some good things to happen or that we can look back on and enjoy for 2020. So hopefully in your life you can maybe do some reflecting and find some things that you can hold on to that, you know,
Brought you joy.
Brought you some joy even in 2020. Some people got in the best shape of their lives in 2020
Yay.
because they didn't have anything else to do but work out. I was not one of those people.
Either.
But anyway, you know, all you can do is make the best of the situation that you're in. So we hope that you have a great rest of the week. We hope that you have, we want to wish everyone happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, although we'll probably see you before New Year. Be safe, enjoy yourselves, and we will talk at you later. Bye-bye.
Peace.
You're the air that I breathe. Yes, and you are all that I need. You are the sun, a gift of light. You are the moon, my comfort at night. You are the water that keeps me alive. You are the ground on which I stand. Yes, you are. Wherever you go, I follow you there. Whatever you do, I'll be there for you.
Full slice of Rofair blue cheese. So CJ was calling me an expert because we are trying to separate meat here and food save it, since ground beef was $2 a pound at our grocery store. So he said, do you think that's gonna be 2 pounds? I said, let's try right about here. Check it out. Look at that. 2 pounds, exactly.
Well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That'll probably be